God, I thank you for the laughter. I thank you for the pain and for giving me many years that wasn't in vain. God, I thank you for this angel that you sent down just for me. God, I thank you for the precious memories. God, I thank you for the laughter. God, I thank you for the pain, the precious smile that greeted me each day. God, I thank you for the laughter, just holding his hand. I just want to thank you for sending me this angel. God, I thank you for the laughter. Yes, I'll thank you for the pain, the precious life he lived may be short, but never in vain. God, I thank you for letting me just take care of your precious gift. Lord, I thank you for the memories of my beloved. Lord God, I thank you for the memories of my beloved. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for this precious young man. Hello, my YouTube family. God bless y'all today, and welcome to Sister Cece's channel. Tomorrow is the anniversary of my son, Maurice Green. This is a picture of him, y'all. Look at that beautiful smile and them dimples, y'all. This was my second oldest son, and tomorrow is his 17th year anniversary. He was taken away from us, on March the 21st in 2006, walking down the street, and someone decided to play God and take my son's life and shoot him in the back. The killers are still out. The killer and whoever else was involved was still out there. But I'm praying one day Maurice will get justice, y'all. We had it on the TV. It was in Silent Witness. It was in a couple of the positive magazines because my son was a cross-dresser and he was gay, and I loved him no matter what. And I just thank God for him. He came out when he was 18. He changed and started cross-dressing at 21, and he was dead at 22. So, it's very hard for us, holidays, every day almost, memories that we think of him and his voice and TV programs. And he loved Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. He loved it to sing, y'all. He was an entertainer. My son also was at Valley Youth Theater with Bob Cooper. He was in several different plays. He was in Father Duck there. He was in The Wiz with Jordan Sparks and Emma Stone. And my son played the Scarecrow in The Wiz in 2002. He was also did foster care story, some kind of musical that was put on. And by Reed, what's his name, Reed, he was there. And he played the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. My son also was at Desert Stages Theater, and he did a couple plays there. He loved it acting, he loved it performing. He took it on further with American Idol, and he qualified in the top 30, made it up to the top 30, y'all. So proud of him. Singing Whitney Houston, I will run. I want to run to you. And so this young man was ambitious. He had his whole life ahead of him. But I guess God had another plan, and took him home. It hurt so much, but I just learned to go on, and that's when my whole life stopped. March 21st, 2006, and I went into a deep depression, y'all. I went on medication, mental health. I mean, I didn't have some bad things happen in my life, but losing your child is the worst thing, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, because, death is hard. No matter how your person die, you think that the parent's supposed to live longer than the child, but sometimes it don't be like that. These children sometimes, and young people, think that they're invincible, but you don't know where death is at. So even with your children, teach them about that life is not always promised, that it's one day at a time. And so who would thought that my son would be taken away from me, saying he was living with me for a minute, because he also went to NAU. He taught dance at NAU. He went to college out there for a while, didn't want to go to the dorm. I don't know, y'all, is that the cancer in him or not, but he was a person that was, he wanted to be independent. He didn't want nobody dependent on to take care of him or help him. And he worked as a manager out there at Jack in the Box. And in Flagstaff, things are more expensive in Flagstaff, Arizona. And so my son worked and went to college and taught dance at nighttime. He did whatever he could to survive out there. Got caught up and met with some of the students and stuff, and he came back here struggling with drug addiction and stuff. And I know God was healing him and bringing him out. And as soon as he had went to Salvation Army, which is a good program, y'all, for addiction, my son only stayed there not even 6 months, and he came out. And you are on there, they don't make you stay there. And so he didn't finish the program, y'all. And then about not even 3 or 4 months later, my son was killed. And so it was just shocked. I just couldn't believe it, y'all. I just could not believe it. That when the police knocked on my door at 4 a.m, I just couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, y'all gotta be kidding me. And they said, do you know Melissa? And my son, like I said, was a cross-dresser. So the street name he went by was Melissa. And so, and I said, Melissa? And I was thinking, because it caught me off guard, y'all, and I was thinking about my son. I know he had went out with a friend, supposed to be a friend of his, out to the club that night. And he had got dressed, and Marcus had said goodbye to him, because my other son, he stayed with me. He was still underage. And he was going out and getting ready and all that. And like I said, the police just, because before me go back some, y'all, because I'm getting all, tongue-tied and, all over the place. But before he went out, y'all, and this happened, and I wasn't putting two and two together. I wasn't thinking. My son has been a young man that always mostly went against the rules. I mean, he obeyed rules, but I mean, he was going to, just do his own stuff. He wasn't going to just let nobody else tell him what he could and couldn't do. But what I'm saying is, he never asked me, should he go out? And so that night, he went up. I was upstairs and he was downstairs. I had a townhouse then, y'all. And I was up there, watching TV and stuff. He was down there with his friend, or somebody came over, and he was getting dressed. He came up there and he said, Mom, he said, you think I should go out tonight? I said, yeah, Maurice, if you want to, that's up to you, son. I said, you grown. If you want to go out, you can go out, or you can stay home. So and he stood there for not even a second, and then he went back downstairs. So I kept watching my program, because I know he had visitors. When he had visitors downstairs or something, you don't want to get in your young people's business and stuff and let them visit, not sit there and be all up in their business and stuff. So I went back in the room and watched my program, and whatever program I was watching that night. And then not even 2 minutes later, he came up again. He said, Mom, he said, you think I should go? And I looked at him. I said, what? He said, Mom, you think I should go out? I said, son, I said, if you want to go, go. But if you're tired, just stay home. He said, Mom, I just want to ask you. But I'll think about it. So he went back downstairs. And then, not even 5 minutes later, it was almost like this person downstairs, and I'm not sure if he was doing that, y'all. This is just me talking. Was like, come on. You know how you go to somebody's house and you don't know, they don't really want to go, and you just keep saying, oh, come on, I don't want to go by myself. Come on. It's going to be a good time. Just go. Just come on. It's like that person downstairs was urging him to just come on and go. And so I was just back to watching this program, thinking my son finna go out and have a good time. Because on weekends, sometimes he stays home in the day or looking for work or at college or something, going to college, but looking for part-time work. And so I wasn't thinking that. I'm like, just, it's a Tuesday, but I said, maybe he's tired because he just came in from somewhere and he wanted the rest. I said, that's probably why he asked me that. But I still didn't think nothing about it, y'all. And then also, so my son, next thing you know, he said, Mom, and he looked at me. It was almost like it wasn't even but some seconds, y'all, but it felt like eternity. He was just staring at me. He said, Mom, I guess I'm going to go. It was like he knew something was going to happen or something was going on, y'all. And I didn't pick up on it, even though I'm intuitive sometimes and have this word of knowledge and this gift, but I couldn't think of, I wasn't thinking that. You weren't thinking about your son or your daughter. You ain't thinking that something's going to happen. Sometimes God can warn you, and I remember back like months later, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I was on the stairs and I started crying because I thought I was going to go. Me being with this terminal illness that they say I have with HIV, I thought it was me going, and I was just crying on the stairs. I said, Lord, I was just crying. I was like, Lord, I'm going to leave my children, and I want to get to see the rest of my children and my grandchildren. And I was just crying. I was crying. I was bawling. I was just so sad. And it woke them up. And they came, and I started singing Marcus' song, In the Still of the Night. He loves singing that song, In the Still of the Night. And so that's one of my favorite songs. So I would start singing In the Still of the Night. Da, 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 da. God held me tight. Oh, I love you so. Promise I'll never, ever let you go in the still of the night. I was just making it my own way, y'all. I was just singing in the still of the night, and they came down and, Mama, what's wrong? And they started crying, and I was telling this dream I had, and then they're seeing me in a coffin, and then I don't know why I said that, because some of these young people, you can't tell everything. They start worrying, but I was just sharing with them. We kind of open. We keep our relationship open. I usually talk to them about a lot of things, and some things I might not should have talked to them about. They don't tell me, but we do. And so I was crying. They came and they hugged me, y'all, and everything. And like I said, not even 2 weeks later, that's when this happened. And with my son getting ready to go out that night. And I didn't put two to two together. I didn't think of nothing. And sometimes I know God only tell us in part. He don't tell us everything. But, I'm just saying, when he just went back on downstairs. And next thing I know, he took off. So my other son, he was just coming in the door. And I had got some churches and stuff. And they were eating and everything. Then him and his friend, a Spanish friend, had went off. Took off. And then the next thing I know, me and my boyfriend, he was there, and he, I was with another man. I wasn't with the same man, and I was there with him, and we was having kind of a rocky relationship anyway, but that ain't the point. But it was like I was there with them, and we were just having fun. Us three of us watching a movie, and I went back. I came from upstairs to downstairs, because Maurice is gone now, and you can go in there, because when he in there getting ready to go out, and his friends down there, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he wanted to be alone with them. And so I didn't come down after he left. And then, that's what I said. We went to sleep that night. And then here come the dreaded knock at 4 a.m, y'all. My mouth is dry, y'all. I'm trying to drink something in a minute. But I got that knock 4 a.m. You know how the police knock. Almost break your door and your window down. And so, when they told me they had my son. I said, well, you got him in the car? Because I'm thinking, I said, Maurice went there trying to prostitute or in trouble stealing something or doing something with that young dude that he left with. And he said, you know Melissa? I said, yeah, I know Melissa. I said, he's out there in the car. They said, no, ma'am. We just hate to tell you this. But Melissa's dead. I said, you can't. I said, y'all gotta be kidding me. Because Maurice was a prankster, a jokester at times. And I said, no, my son ain't dead. I said, no, Maurice ain't dead. And they said, yes, ma'am, he's dead. He said he was killed about 12 midnight walking down the street. Someone had shot him in the back. And I just couldn't believe it, y'all. My son came downstairs. And he couldn't believe it. He was upset. He was asking questions and what happened. And thank God I had my boyfriend who was supportive at the time, Raymond. He came and gave me a hug. He was all crying. I was more in shock. I wasn't crying. I was just more in shock. I just could not believe this police was telling me that my son was dead. And I said, well, where is he at? And they said he was laying on the street. So I don't have a car, and my boyfriend didn't have a car. So I tried to get to him. But my friends I was telling people that didn't have a car, and Marcus says my girlfriend that I'm dating, Mom, she wouldn't mind taking us. And so I had to go I was kind of dressed, but see, I wasn't worrying about all that. Just when I got dressed. But I was trying to call one of my best friends, but she was busy and she couldn't get there quick enough. Because I needed support. I just couldn't believe it. This is just, this is, oh my God. My whole life, I'm telling y'all, everything just stopped right then. I just couldn't believe someone had took my baby's life. I didn't cry right away. I was just hurt. I cried a little bit. I was so hurt. I was so angry. I wanted to be there for him. I wanted to hold him. I brought him into the world. I wanted to see him go out. I wanted to be there. But I didn't get to the scene, y'all. Thank God. Because I think I would be worse off than I am now. It took me years to get to where I'm at now. But I couldn't get to the scene. Can you imagine all the yellow tape? You can't cross it. Because they got to do the investigation. And your child laying there on the street from 12 midnight to 6 a.m. And I couldn't get there. I couldn't get there. Could get there to hold him. I couldn't get there on time. I didn't have a ride, y'all. But God fixed it like that. Because I'm telling you, all hell would have broke loose that night. That morning, if I would have got there. I would have been a complete, total wreck, y'all. Not even in my right mind. I wasn't in my right mind for years, but I would have been in worse. I would have been under the mental ward. Just seeing all the blood. Seeing your child just laying there. Y'all got to excuse the background noise, y'all. I got to keep the door open because the light is on, and maintenance so I can have more lighting. Maintenance out there fixing an empty apartment, taking down things on the stairs, or whatever they do when they job. They got to work. So excuse the background noise and stuff. But tomorrow is his anniversary. I don't even know if I'm going to come on tomorrow. So I'm just sharing with y'all to just keep me and my family in prayer. But my whole life just stopped. My son's life stopped. My other son came and visited, and he was so angry. Like, Mom, what happened? What happened to him? You know, who killed him? We gonna go get him. But we didn't know nothing. Because it was like a drive-by. It was supposed to be on bikes or whether in cars or whatever. They just rode by and shot him in the back. Whatever he did, he didn't deserve to die like that. He was my son. He was somebody special. People loved him. He was an uncle. He was a brother. He was his grandson. He was precious. He was precious, y'all. And somebody decided to play God. Some punk, some coward. Yes, I have forgiven him, but I'm angry still. I am angry still. But God is helping me with the pain of losing this young man at 22 years old, his whole life ahead of him. I didn't get to see him get married or have children or finish his career of being an entertainer. He loved it. Mariah Carey, he loved it performing. He loved Whitney Houston. He loved it singing. He loved it people. He loved it children, y'all. He was just a loving young man. I mean, he had his moments. He had his days, and he's caught up with that drug with meth. Something that he said he wouldn't get caught up with. Well, we can never say never. But my son ended up getting caught up with methamphetamines. God rest his soul. But we just got to each day love our children. Love on your young adults. Love on your children. Love on your grandchildren. Because tomorrow's not promised. Him going out to a party, I'm thinking he going to come back. Going out to a club, he'll be back. He goes out, nothing happens. You know, you don't think nothing of it. You don't think when your child walk out the door, that's the last time you'll see him. You don't think that. You don't know. That's why every day take time to tell him you love him. Even if y'all angry at each other, you mad, he ain't listening, she ain't listening. You know, just take time every day when you leave that child. Put your arms around them and hug them and tell them how much you love them, how much they're loved and how much you appreciate them. Find some good in them. We all got bad in us. We can't focus on the bad things they do, but focus on the positive and put your arms around them and love them every day. Pick up the phone and tell them you love them. Write them a text. Use social media. Use a letter. Whatever you have to do to tell your children wherever they at. Your nieces, your nephews, if you ain't got children. You know, tell them you love them. Tell them you care. And I knew that he was loved. That's one thing I say it every day. Almost every other day when my children in my life, I tell them I love them. I don't say nothing else. Just to tell them you love them. But I'm just saying, it's hard, y'all. It's hard. Death is hard no matter what. But when you lose your child, it's like no one seems to understand the pain unless you've been through. Some people be saying, you should be over that. It's many years ago. But you never get over it. You just learn to deal with it. You just learn to just deal with it every day. But when it's an anniversary, when it's holidays, Mother's Day coming up, it's hard. Easter coming up, it's hard. On Mother's Day, he would put little notes under my door. Him and my son, they would put on a show and perform and sing for me. Sing Mother's Day songs. Give me some roses, some flowers. They would sing for me. I open up gifts. On my birthday, I would have cards. Sometimes I come home, it ain't even a holiday. Because he couldn't afford to pay, me much rent living there. But I would find money under my door. I would find money that he would have to hustle, whatever he got his way to get. Instead of smoking it up, he would put money under my door, y'all. The little he had left. He was a loving young man that loved everybody. He loved Maurice. Maurice was the person that when you come in, one of them people that when you come in the room, everybody looks. He would light up the room. And I miss this young man. There's so much part of his life I missed out on because I stayed with his dad who didn't change, and it got worse, and I lost my precious gifts to CPS years ago when they was little. But the young men in my life, my sons, were put in long-term foster care, and I got to see them for the time they was like 7 to 18 when they came out. Marcus came home at 14, and Maurice came home a few years later. Maurice came home a few years later. He was doing his own thing, and then he came to live with me off and on. But he was with friends and everything else, and then he finally came to Mama. I'm always mother to him, Mama, mother. It's hard, y'all. Let me just get a drink here. But I miss my son so much. I just miss his laughter and him telling jokes, doing pranks and stuff. He was a prankster, y'all. You would come around the corner, boo, her, and then he'll start laughing. And sometimes you don't think it's funny, but it was funny. Coming from him, just to put a laugh on your face. He was the type of kid that brings stray cats to my house and dogs. I think that's why they come around me now sometimes with stray cats over here. We got 7 in the community cats here. And I think of him because sometimes I just want to, get on away from here. I don't want to be bothered with no cats. But I have to love animals and treat them right. Sometimes they don't have no one to take care of them if they stray. So just to put food and water out, I know the manager be on me sometime. But I remember this young man, how he bought a stray cat to the house. Mom, that's how we had Orion. We had her for 17 years. And on Christmas, he said, Mom, I got a gift for you. And he brought the gray cat in. I'm like, oh my God, Maurice. Here it is. I didn't want another mouth in the house to feed in the house here. But Maurice brought that gray cat in, and we had her for 17 years. Marcus took care of the rest of the years because she was so close to him. So when he moved out at 23 or 24, he took Orion with him, and she lived 17 years, y'all. I thank God for that cat in memory of Maurice. And because I say this young man loved the cat. He's going to be a good father one day because he loved the children. This man, he would just, every time a child come in the room or come over, he would have them in the arms, and he would go to the neighbors outside and play ball with them. And he just loved it people. He loved it helping people. He loved it children. He loved it animals. He loved it performing. He would sing all the time just to hear him sing. And when I think of that song, Dance with My Father Again, I'll be putting it in my mind, Dance with My Son Again. Because me and him would dance sometimes, and we would just dance outside, and we'll dance. And, it's just nothing like, your children, your gifts, the precious gifts that God has given you and entrusted you with. Please love them. Please take care of them. Please protect them by all means necessary. Please don't yell at them. Treat them right. Talk to them on their levels. Treat them the way you want to be treated. You don't want to be yelled at. You don't want to be cussed out. You don't want somebody doing it to you. So treat them right. Love on your children. Do the best you can for them to be that example. And if you need parenting skills, get it. If you need a break sometime, get it. Make sure they're in good hands though. But then you take a break. Because sometimes as parents, you need a break. It's too much. You all need a break sometime from being a parent. Whether it's a date night, whether it's a day to yourself, a spa day, whether it's just a day to just sit in the house and there's no sounds of running around. Mama, he did this, she did this. Look what they doing, Mama. Mama, what time is lunch? Mom, when we gonna eat? What I'm saying is sometimes you do need your time for yourself. So take that. But then we always know that they are loved by you telling them, I love you. Not just showing it. Ain't nothing wrong with money and gifts sometimes, but a kid wants to be heard that I love you. They want to know that you love them. I know love is an action word, but sometimes you got to speak it to children. They want you to tell them that I love you. Tell them that I love you, and then show it too. Amen. With that smile, with that hug, with that allowance, with discipline. That's part of love. Not abuse, but discipline. And loving that child. Make sure they got good food and clothes to wear. And they get their rest and they sleep and they study habits. And then it is so much. I'm so proud of both of my daughters. Even though I don't take credit for most of it, I take credit for some of it. They don't remember that. but I do because they, with God in my life and stuff. But they grew up to be wonderful parents. Both of them got like 4 or 5 kids, and one got two children. My son, he got 2 or 3 children. So I got about 11 grandkids now, y'all. Beautiful grandchildren. And my daughters and my sons are wonderful parents. My youngest son, he's getting there. Y'all keep praying for him, but he's getting there. He got a couple of children in the world, and if he don't be there, I'm gonna try to be there. Okay, that's how that works. But what I'm saying is, just pray for him that he'll step up and be the father he needs to be to his children, because they're our life. God give us them just for a short time, and we got to cherish the moments that we spend with these children. Let me just read a word. It's hard to even put this picture down, y'all. It's so hard. I love him so much. I miss my son. This is Maurice Dupree Green. He was born July 14th, y'all, 1983. And he went home on March the 21st in 2006. That's his home going, y'all. This is my son here. This is my second oldest son, Maurice Dupree, Dupree Green. The case is still unsolved, y'all. He's on silent witness. You can look him up as to what happened. They still looking for the killers. Y'all pray that justice will one day be done for this young man. He didn't deserve to be laid out there like trash, like he didn't have nobody, like nobody loved him, like a dog, like an animal. And y'all just don't know the pain that I've been through, and his family, his sisters and his brothers and the people that loved this young man. Just hold on to your child every day. Tell him how much you love him and how much you care for him, how proud you are of the accomplishments, even though it might be little things. But I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of you, daughter. I'm proud of you, niece. I'm proud of you, nephew. I'm proud of you. Just tell them that, your foster children. Tell them how much you proud of them and how much you care. Amen. Speak good over their lives and be good to them. Because like I said, he was just going out to a party, just coming out to a party and never came back. That was the last time I see my son. Was when I went to the medical examiner, and they said, because I couldn't believe it. I was like, y'all gotta be kidding me. This is a joke. I said, I'm gonna get Maurice if he playing a joke like this. But y'all, I went to the medical examiner, and I figured out it wasn't no joke. They wouldn't let me see him. I was upset because I wanted to see him right then. They said, man, we can't let you see him before we embalm him. I don't know what law, what it is, or what rights I had as his mother to go in there, but they wouldn't let me in. And so I didn't see it until he got to the medical exam, to the funeral home, y'all. They get a day where you go in there and you get to see your child or your loved one. You get to lay on his chest. And I said that his death would not be in vain. So, y'all, I still believe his death is not in vain. I believe that through his life, he touched so many people. I didn't have money for a funeral because I didn't have life insurance. That's what I'm saying. Get life insurance for your children if you ain't got it. Please encourage your children that are working, your young adults, to get life insurance, or your grandson, granddaughter, whoever it is. Encourage them if they got a job. Please get life insurance. It's so important. But thank God that this young man was involved, like I said, in entertainment, through Valley Youth Theater, through Desert Stages Theater, through the Herberger Theater, through Ironwood High School that he went to, and he graduated from, through NAU, through South Mountain Community Colleges, where he was in a few dance recitals and he taught dance there. He also taught dance at NAU, and he was there for a while as a student. This young man. And thank God for parents of murdered children. And thank God for the city of Phoenix, who also came and gave a donation of over $3,000 or $4,000. Also thanking for the family the Gonzalez family who loved him like their own son, who stepped up and gave a donation until that money came through, because it didn't come through right away. But Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. and Mrs. Gonzalez, they came through and gave my son, because they seen him as their own son. They was like a second family to him. So was Bob and Nan Gacy, who were mentors to Maurice. And Javier Gonzalez, his best friend. And Carly, she was there, in her own ways, praying for me. She couldn't get here from another state. And the pain was so hard for some of his friends. But thank God for all of them that supported me. They came there, they donated. They did car washes, y'all. They helped out. Thank God for Raymond Johnson, who's no longer with us. But he put together car washes. Joni and her daughters came. Friends that came. And some I can't even mention and remember, but they all came. A DJ was there. We had 3 car washes. We had donations. Ironwood High School gave donations. All of the music teachers, the acting teachers that came from Ironwood, they gave donations. Thank God for Valley Youth Theater, Mr. Bob Cooper, who collected donations and helped us out to make sure that Maurice had a decent burial, y'all. And I don't know how much we raised, but it was probably all together like $7,000 or $8,000 or more. And we gave this young man a decent burial. And what it is, I had picked this tree at East Lake, y'all. East Lake Monterey. East Park. Monterey on 40th Street, like East West Haven, excuse me. And I had picked this big old tree. I love trees, y'all. I don't know why, but I love nature and I love trees. And so it was for me. I had picked it, with my illness and stuff, thinking I was going to go years ago. I had started planning it. Because then when you found out in the early 90s, when you have AIDS, that it was a death sentence back then. And so I had went and tried to get, life insurance, and I couldn't get all that. And then what happened was, after finally working with the East West Haven, you could pay monthly. You put something down and pay monthly, but I had my spot going. I wasn't finished paying for it. But when Maurice was killed, instead of me putting him next to me, I gave him my spot right there under the tree. And so I was trying to go back and get the spot a month later after we buried him. And somebody had bought all the area over there where Maurice was at. So I couldn't get next to him. But I thought to myself, Lord, I didn't want to be underground anyway, y'all. I'd rather be cremated. We dead. We don't know. After when the body is present with the Lord, but I'm not good with enclosed places. So I say, God, I just want to be in the air, in the mountains, in nature somewhere. Not in water, because I'm not a water person, but I know how to swim some, but I'm just not a water person. But I didn't put my son next to me. I gave him my plot. And so we had enough money to get him a headstone, y'all. Nice headstone. It's at East West Haven. I don't go over there much. I need to keep cleaning it. Somebody else had cleaned it. Thank you, Veronica. She went over there and cleaned it a couple times. My daughter went over there. Raymond went over there. A couple other friends that I don't know went up, and that I ain't seen went over there and cleaned it. Thank y'all so much for loving this young man, and for being in his life, all his friends and family. So many to mention, y'all. So many. The ones I did already, they are just been in Maurice's life and been there. His first love, Carly Dubler. She's like goddaughter to me in my heart. But she's also Maurice's first love. And the last woman that I know he'd been with before he made a transition to go and be with just men only. And she's still in my life, and I thank God for her, and just thanking God for my daughter, who's Maurice's twin. They should have been twins, but they wasn't. If you see him, you see her. They're a resemblance of each other, but thanking God for her, it was sad that she came back in his life after he passed away, but they had this bond and the spirit, and I know that she, loved her brother, and he loved her. And wish things would have been different, but he's always there with them in spirit. But I just want to share with y'all this, and I'm gonna come back and finish on Matthew probably the next day in a couple of days. Y'all ain't forgot to finish that up. I don't want to leave nobody hanging, but tomorrow's his anniversary, and I wanted to just say some stuff to remember some things about my son Maurice. I'm going to read this little poem, and then I'm going to close out and come back on tomorrow if we can get through this. So y'all bear with me and remember to love your child. Hold on to them. Tell them you love them every day. Tell them how happy you are that they're in your lives. And be good to them and treat them the way you want to be treated. Amen. And let me read this real quick so I can put that picture down. I know he's with me in spirit, y'all. But I just want to share something. If I can share it real quick, just hang up. Just remember to subscribe, to like, and share, please. I'm going to try to read this real quick. It says, being there. It says, do you know of someone whose precious child has died? And this is from Chicken Soup, the grieving soul. Y'all got to get Chicken Soup. Y'all probably got some in your house right now. Open it up and read them sometimes. These devotions are very good. They touch you. They cover a lot. They got for the pets. They got for couples. They got when you're alone. They got it for women. They got it for men. They got, you name it. You'll find a Chicken Soup book that would encourage you. And it's a good devotional. So please pick up Chicken Soup. And this is the ones about surviving grief. And it's Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen. Those are your authors. And it's got many stories in here from different people who are sharing their stories concerning grief. So today and tomorrow I'll probably come back again because it's his anniversary, y'all, and read some stories, something uplifting more, and talk about my son more, and share something about grief. All right, but this one's going to be quick here. It says, do you know of someone whose precious child has died? Perhaps she is a neighbor or friend with whom you can confide. You assume that she is suffering a tragedy so deep that there is nothing you can do, since all she does is weep. You feel that if you see her, there's nothing you can say, excuse me, that will make her precious child come back or make the pain go away. And if by chance you meet her and have to face her grief, you'll do your very best to make this meeting brief. You'll talk about the weather or the lady down the lane, but you'll never mention her child. That would cause her too much pain. And when the funeral's over and all is said and done, you'll go home to your family and she'll be all alone. She'll go on. She'll be all right. Time heals, or so it seems, while she's left alone to pick up the pieces of her shattered life and dreams. And then it's another one that says, you can open up your heart and find that special place where compassion and true giving are awaiting your embrace. Today I'm thinking of you in a very special way. Or how about I love you are some loving things to say. Sometimes a very simple task like picking up the phone can help her feel not so quite desperately alone. Whatever comes from a genuine heart cannot be said in vain. But the truth is, it's these very things that lessens her great pain. And when you let her talk about her child who is now dead, you'll know this is far greater than anything you've said. So will you reach out with all your soul and let her know you care? For in the end, there's no substitute for simply being there. And this is by Debbie L. Pettigrew. Okay, thank y'all again for tuning in to Sister Cece. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for sharing with me. Thank you. Keep praying for me and my family, as tomorrow we're going through this anniversary of losing him on March 21st, 2006. Please keep me and my family in prayer as I keep yours in prayer that have lost a child or a loved one. God bless y'all. Let's remember to hold each other and tell them we love them. Amen. Tell your children that every day, and all your love.